The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
And hello, I'm your host Darren Jaime, and you're watching Open, the one and only show that brings the best of the Bronx and New York and the world right to you. First up, we're going to preview Bronx Talk's live debates on Monday as we get ready for election 2012. Then the directors of a documentary will discuss the changing landscape of New York City. Plus, Aaron Burke, the creator of the Pollinators Corridor, discusses this beautifully illustrated book with a message. And the third annual Back to School event at Wakefield is coming up, and we've got the host of it right in studio. We've also got a preview of the Giants, yes, the New York Giants 2012 season, and a profile on a very special lady. So stay tuned, because all this and much more is heading your way, because right now we're officially open. Hello, Bronxites. I'm your host, Darren Jaime, and today is Wednesday, September the 5th, 2012. And, of course, you're watching Open, the show that brings you the inside scoop on all things local and worldwide. We are always here and always interactive, and we want you to give us a call at 718-960-7241. Or you can send us an email to open@bronxnet.org. And, yes, we are on our social networking pages. You can find us at Facebook, and you know how to reach us, Facebook, Open BronxNet Television. Or you can catch us on Twitter at BronxNet TV. Or if you have that computer, go straight from the website, www.bronxnet.org. Well, we do know that the 2012 elections are front and center right now in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. The Democratic National Convention is taking full steam. Yesterday, First Lady Michelle Obama gave her speech to delegates outlining hers, or I should say her and Barack's history of past, present, and the future. The question is, will Barack Obama have enough to make it in 2012? After the Republican National Convention and Mitt Romney met in Tampa, Florida, the stakes are getting high. Not only the stakes high in North Carolina and Tampa, Florida, the stakes are high right here in the borough of the Bronx. And we've got a couple of hotly contested races. Now, Bronx Talk is BronxNet's long-running talk show that focuses on Bronx education, politics, and other vital issues. And with the election season coming up, Bronx Talk is gearing up for a live debate coming up on Monday. And in a little while, we are going to give you more information, because we're going to have host Gary Axelbank on the phone with us. He'll give us a little bit of what you can expect on the debates on Monday. And, of course, you can stay tuned right here to BronxNet Television, www.bronxnet.com. You can be able to see all the information in regards to those debates, and we want you to be sure to check it out on Monday. The debates will be taking place on Monday. I want you to stay with us, because coming up after the break, we will continue with more Open right after this.
My rent went up sky high, and it's not affordable.
The people, poor and working people, we have a right to live in the city.
So we're surrounded by designer shops and Coach bags.
By the middle class, and we are being pushed out.
There has been an attempt to bring the actual city as it's lived and as it works as a physical space in line with this idea of an imagined city of competition, of achievement, and finally, probably most importantly, of luxury. And what this has meant is a real emphasis on the building of luxury housing, rezoning areas to permit certain types of development, preclude others, and the ultimate upshot has been that the city has become much less affordable for middle-class people, to say nothing of working-class people or poor people. It's become more unequal. Its cultural character has changed as small businesses have closed. There has been a sense that some of the diversity and energy and kind of grittiness that made New York a special place has disappeared.
This is what's happening here, that the law is lax. We need to close the loopholes to protect the tenants. These are lives on the line. You know, we cannot lose the human element and emotion that is involved here.
Government cannot take the private property of a single owner and give it to another private entity.
There is a full-fledged assault in the last several years on every possible loophole that one could imagine.
New York City needs development. There's no denying that, but we don't want it at the price of losing the heart and soul of our neighborhoods and what gives them the character that makes them special and unique, that makes people invest their lives as well as their money in them.
This is the most dramatic change of them all insofar as the business life is concerned in Harlem. These are serious things which are displacing people totally.
The city comes up with a plan, and then the community has to fight the plan.
People with $60,000, $70,000 incomes cannot afford to live here. Firemen cannot afford to live here. Policemen cannot afford to live here.
You have encircled Harlem like you've encircled a wagon. No wonder you call us the last frontier. We know what you're trying to do. Driving out poor, working class, blacks and Latinos out of Manhattan, and also working class and moderate income whites. You're driving us out.
Manhattan is going to be for the rich. Areas where there's poor quality housing, lack of services, lack of transportation is going to be for the poor. There's going to be the very rich and the very poor and nobody in between.
When you have the distribution we see with this global era, the city itself is in trouble.
Well, right there you saw the trailer for Vanishing City. New York City is a changing landscape, and our next guests are focusing their lenses on what it all means. We welcome now Fiore DeRosa and Jen Senko to the show, and thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So give us a little bit about what we just saw.
Well, we didn't see actually what you saw.
Well, we saw the trailer for Vanishing City, right?
Right.
So,
but basically, our film is about the luxurification of New York that's happened over the last, few years, and how the middle and lower income people are being pushed out, and it's becoming a city of luxury, luxury residences, luxury condos. Historical buildings are being pushed out. There's a whole new philosophy. Mayor Bloomberg called New York a luxury product. And so that's kind of what our film is highlighting. It's hiding the luxurification.
Fiore, I know it speaks right to my heart because I grew up in New York City, so I grew up in Harlem, and so I know what it is to, what Harlem used to be. Now you have $400,000 condos matched right up against people who only can afford $400 for rent. What kind of reaction were you getting during the filming?
Oh, yeah, I was talking just before this about that. We had screened at the Schomburg Center, and people would actually got up in the aisles and were screaming at the screen, at the events on the screen, and that happened at the Film Forum and a number of places in the city. It's really a visceral experience for people because, people are getting pushed out. People are, even the affordable housing they're creating is not truly affordable housing.
Right.
It's really a displacement tool. When you build housing and you have a requirement that is higher than what the people, say, in Harlem can pay, it's displacing the people. And people are upset.
So give us a little bit about where you are right now. I mean, obviously the trailer's out there. You're showing it around the people. What's the reaction that you're getting? Because obviously you've got people on one side of the aisle who are saying, you know what, you've hit it right on the nose. I'm sure you're getting some critics on the other side who don't really agree.
Well, in the beginning when we were making it, I maybe even shouldn't say this, but we knew that we were kind of being watched. Like when we had a preview, we had several of the mayor's people come But at that time, we did have a clip of the mayor in it, and we no longer have that clip. So, and we had a hard time when we were making.
No longer had a clip. Why?
It just didn't fit. We were very much
Okay.
very much trying to fit like a PBS format. You know, 55 minutes and 16 seconds. So it's jam packed with information.
Right.
So it really didn't fit.
And
But
it was a philosophical choice too. We decided to let our experts tell the story rather than
Right.
yeah.
Well, give us a little bit about this, though. So now that you talked about this vanishing city, I mean, what are you hoping that people are really going to be able to take away from watching this?
Well, one of the major things in the film we uncovered, and we were blown away by this, is that the city, 149 neighborhoods have been rezoned in the city. That's probably 1 in every 4 square foot of the city. And then behind it, these subsidies that we're giving out, it's called a 421A tax abatement program, over between $2 and $3 billion of subsidies, of tax breaks to build luxury housing. So the people who are buying these condos are getting tax breaks between 15 and 25 years for luxury housing. And all of the New Yorkers are paying that. We're buying luxury homes. We're basically for these people. We're giving them tax breaks for their luxury homes.
What we have found is that we're giving people information that they never had before. You know, we actually didn't know we were going to be going down this path. You know, at first we thought we were going to be doing like a nostalgia piece. You know, oh, these artists are moving out of here. Oh, this store that we loved, you know,
Right.
shut down. But we started following this path that started with someone telling us about Plan NYC 2030, which was that 1 million new people would be in New York by, you know, 2030, and that was the excuse for all the building, and, you know, that sounded like a little funny, so we just started down that path. So what we're doing is providing people with all this information in one place, and people are astounded. Now, I don't know what we can really do about it. We're not policymakers. You know, the first thing is just educating people.
Right. I think that what you're doing is you're giving people awareness, because, I mean, there's a lot of people out there and they see this new development, they see these things occur. Some people feel it's for the beautification of New York City, but then you have another set of people who say this is about gentrification and the fact that a lot of people are being forced out of what used to be their home, and they're making homes for those who will be rich and the upper class, and basically everybody else will be left to find homes wherever.
It's even beyond gentrification. Mayor Bloomberg, as I said, called the city a luxury product. So it's this whole philosophy of luxury that the city should be for the uber wealthy. It should be a city of finance and real estate. It shouldn't have manufacturing. It should be sort of like Dubai, like a global city. So that's why I call it luxurification.
Well, at least the primaries of the city are, you know, basically, you know, city of wealth. And then the exterior, where, you know, the housing is, you know, poor, and there's, you know, transportation is poor. They figure that's where the people who work the service jobs, $7.50 an hour, will live. You know, to come in and, you know, sort of serve the wealthy.
Give me a little bit about how long it took you guys to really come up and put this film out there, because obviously a lot of time, a lot of research too.
Well, he makes us all work like a demon. So we kind of like, you know, it was all concentrated. It started in August 2007, and there were basically just 3 of us at the time: Fury and I, and Jason Knobloch, our cinematographer, and we just worked constantly, and I'd say around the clock. We did interviews for the first year, and then we really finished it in late 2009, and then Erica Hampson, our producer, helped get us a deal at Duart where they color corrected it, so it didn't come out until the summer 2010. But we basically burnt ourselves out and drove ourselves in a financial hole to do it.
Yeah, we have 140 hours of footage. We 80 interviews, and then we have demonstrations, and we cut it down to 55 minutes.
Wow.
We did it that format specifically for PBS, but PBS said we didn't have enough of the other point of view. But the problem is we couldn't find anybody else with the other point of view
who would talk to us.
Who would talk to us.
Right.
And first of all, it was, you know,
we do have some. We have Rohit Agarwala, who was the head of city planning. He spoke to us, and a couple of other developers, but not many.
So because you don't have that other side, it's
they
very
feel
hard.
It's biased.
So they say.
Right.
Yeah, but you know, basically, we decided we were going to just we're not going to put ourselves in the film. We're going to let you get the information, the facts, and just tell the story. And we don't feel it's biased, honestly. We just feel it's just an honest story.
Right. Well, give me this. Where can people check out the film now?
They should come to our website, www.thevanishingcity.com, and there's contact info on the website, so they could actually email us. And on the website, there's events. I update the website myself. So we have a list of the events and when they're happening, and then also they could buy the DVD if they want to as well.
And there you're seeing a little information off the website as to The Vanishing City. I want you to take a look, and as it explores New York City as we've known it, what it was, what it is today, and what it shall be. From all of your research and all of your investigative journalism and what you've come up with, what do you see the future to being when it comes to New York City, I should say?
You know, it's interesting because we've been to a lot of city planning meetings, most recently even NYU, and it seems like the film The Groundhog's Day. It seems like all political theater. It's the same thing over and over again. You know, they come, they listen to the community who's really upset because they're being pushed out or they're changing the community, and they just push it through. And we just think, you know, a lot of people are asleep at, you know,
at the wheel.
People have to get out, and they have to really get out and make changes in their community.
Well, I've talked to several people, and you know, one of the common consensuses is that maybe in regards to this particular matter, it's going to be too late by the time people wake up because of a lack of awareness. Is it your hope that your film will hopefully drive home that awareness at a much faster and rapider pace?
That's been our hope.
Well, you know, it's recently we've gotten a lot of you know, great results from the film. A lot of people have been looking, calling us, and they've been wanting to screen it. So people are hearing about it.
Yeah.
And I think
and they ask us what they can do.
I don't know. I can't see how the city can go on like this. I mean, you know, they've emptied a lot of these buildings that were built are empty.
I was getting ready. That was my next point, because you look at a lot of the new construction around here, and you look at the new construction that's being done, and there are no vacancies because of the economy and the way things are. So you've built a new structure, but you have nobody to actually put in them yet. So,
it's gonna. I think it's possibly going to cause another real estate bubble. Yeah. You know, unless they can get homeless people in some of these buildings. I mean, there is a group called Picture the Homeless who's done a vast study on how many empty buildings there are, and you could really house the homeless.
Absolutely. More to come. So you guys got to come back and share with us as you continue to go. And if they want to get more information about Vanishing City, what do they do?
www.thevanishingcity.com. They can contact me or Fiore, you know, email us, look at our site, call us up on the phone, whatever.
Well, Jen and Fiore, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. Best wishes on you know, the future of the film, but thank you for the work that you've done, though.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Darren.
Jen and Fiore. Now, for more information, as we said, on Vanishing New York, it can be found at www.vanishingnewyork.org. Once again, www.vanishing.org. Go back to that, www.vanishingny.org. There we go. All right, now, when we return, we'll hear about Bronx Talk's upcoming debate. But first, we'll take a look with Madeline Rodriguez, who caught up with Univision on-air personality, Miss Sanchez.
Blanca Ileana Sanchez is an on-air talent for 92.7 FM La Que Buena of Univision Radio in New York City, and her radio personality name is La Nena. In 2007, Ileana packed her bags and left her native country, Mexico, and arrived to the United States with the hope of making it big in the Big Apple. And from there, the rest is history.
I came here to make my dreams come true, and I feel very proud to be here in the capital of the world, as you can see.
Ileana was born in Guadalajara, Mexico on October 1st. Her mother, Maria del Socorro, encouraged her to study tourism since she didn't think her daughter would make it in the world of radio or television. But Ileana followed her passion and studied communications at the college Universidad del Valle de Atemajac in Zapopan, Jalisco.
To be here, making my dream coming through, to me means a lot, and I think I did the right thing to leave them, not because I'm going to forget about them or I'm going to forget about who I am, because I will never going to forget about that. That's in my skin forever.
Raised in a strict household and the only female of 4 brothers, when she got her first radio show called El Show de la Nena that aired on weekends, it gave her the opportunity she did not have while growing up, to express her feelings from a woman's point of view.
Ileana started here as a promotions assistant. That is basically an entry-level position. And she became a star. She became a full-time on-air personality due to her talent, to her charisma, and to her hard-working skills.
When I just first came here, I saw the big buildings, the Big Apple, a lot of people, and people around the world coming here, different languages. It was just crazy. It was like, oh my gosh, where I am. My goal is to be one day to be available to speak so perfect, so I don't have any problem to say what I want to say.
In 2004, Ileana met her husband Danny. She was in the country as a cultural exchange student, and 2007 got married.
I arrived here thanks to today is my husband, but it was my boyfriend. And when we were girlfriend and boyfriend, he supports me a lot. He was pushing me.
In 2010, she got the opportunity to work with legendary Dominican radio and television personality Frederic Martinez El Pachá on the show El Pachá y la Nena, which aired Monday through Friday from 3 to 7 p.m. They had a radio show in New York City that combined 2 different cultures, a Caribbean and a Mexican. They won the hearts of the public with their charismatic, spontaneous, and humorous personalities. And thanks to him, she learned how to improvise with confidence.
Success to me is very different. Not a house, not a car. It's more than that. It's to come from your country, to like and have that strength to fight for your dreams and what you want and for your family.
Ileana Sanchez is a story of a woman who believed and followed her dreams. And due to her faith, she was able to accomplish her goals. And now her main focus is to inspire with her story other immigrants.
And we're back here on Open. Darren Jaime with you. And with the 2012 elections upon us, we are joined on the phone by BronxNet's Gary Axelbank to discuss Monday night's debate here on BronxNet. And Gary, good to have you. Do we have Gary? Gary Axelbank, are you there? I'm doing pretty good, thank you. So Monday seems to be a pretty big day for us here in the borough of the Bronx, as you will be having the debates here on Bronx Talk. Give us a little bit about what's coming up. Do we have him on the phone?
Over the years, what we've tried to do is present as many of the candidates who are running for office that we can, so Bronxites can get an idea who they should want to vote for. We're doing on Monday night at 9 o'clock the candidates in the primary for the 80th Assembly District. The incumbent is Naomi Rivera. There are 3 other candidates, Adam Bermudez, Irene Rukaj, and Mark Jonai, who are challenging her. Unfortunately, the incumbent is not going to be with us. She's indicated that she doesn't want to participate, and I never support that idea. To me, the idea is to give people the best chance to see all of the candidates. But in any case, we'll have 3 of them, and we'll do what I think we always do, and that's a pretty good job at presenting a balanced forum so people can see who's running.
Gary, what are the issues in that particular area? Because there's a lot of contention. You got a few candidates right there. From what's your perspective in regards to some of the issues that you'll be discussing?
Well, there's not a race probably in the nation that's being run anywhere at any level where jobs and development is not the first issue, and everybody's very concerned, especially in the Bronx, about jobs and the ability of small business to deliver jobs. Also, the idea of development projects and making sure that they're conforming with what community wants as opposed to coming from top down. Access to health care. I mean, there are some very, very basic things that this race is going to be concerned with. And frankly, one of the other things is the performance of the incumbent. There's been a lot of talk. Hello?
Okay, we are to him in just a few seconds, but if Gary can just come back to us or stay on the line with us while we work this out, we'll bring him back on. Gary Axelbank, host of Bronx Talk. What we'll do is this. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll return. And when we return, we will talk to Gary again, and we'll also hear from a very special person who will actually tell us about his book, An Author with a Message. Take care.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah, this is power, the power of our voice, the power to transform, the power to leave our mark, the power of my vote.
Register and vote. Call 866-VOTE-NYC or visit www.bronxnet.org.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes off the bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Hey, have you heard about the new way to vote New York? Are you ready to learn how? It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Get your paper ballot. Go to your designated poll site, sign in, and get your paper ballot. 2. Mark your paper ballot. Use a pen or ballot marking device to mark your choices. And 3. Scan your paper ballot. Simply insert your marked ballot into the scanner to cast your vote. That's all it takes, New York. To mark it, scan it, and vote the new way.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You should.
Okay.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
And we're back. The Bronx has yet to live down the reputation it received after the 1970s fires. But one author wants to show that the Bronx is no longer burning through his new and beautifully illustrated book. We welcome author Aaron Burke to the show, and he's the author of The Pollinators Quarter, which is a graphic novel. And Aaron, good to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. I've been a reporter in the Bronx and covered the Bronx and hosted for a long period of time. And one of the things that continues to ring true, that people still think that for many reasons the Bronx is, you know, burning, and you've got other people on the other side who say the Bronx is actually booming. So you decided to create this book and make it happen, huh?
Yeah, it started in 2003 when I was living on City Island, which is actually a very mysterious part of the Bronx that not many people
Is that the Bronx? No, I'm just kidding.
know that much about. And I was living with some wetland ecologists, the Gaia Institute actually, and they introduced me to this field called restoration ecology, which I'd never been exposed to. I mean, I'd heard about organic farming, I'd heard about gardening, but restoration ecology is this practice of restoring ecosystems. So you're not gardening for food, you're not gardening for ornamental beauty, you're not doing lawn care, you're actually promoting indigenous biodiversity, native plants, which will then attract all kinds of wildlife, native flora and fauna. And while I was there, I started to get filled with these ideas, and I realized that even though I had only a background in the arts, I really wanted to develop some skills in the science. So I started applying for jobs. I was working at the Bronx Botanical Garden, New York Botanical Garden for a while with my back to the gardens. I was facing the parking lot selling tickets.
Okay.
And I worked my way up into Central Park, where I worked as a gardener in the North Woodlands. And from there, I got all the material I needed for a graphic novel.
So give us a little bit about this graphic novel. When you open it up, what are people going to see? We're going to see some pictures in a few seconds, but when you open up, what are people going to be able to see?
Okay, when you open this book, you basically are taken down a rabbit hole. There's a lot of vanishing point perspective drawings. There's a sense of, I mean, the title, The Corridor, there's a sense of a pathway or a sense of a journey or like a start to finish, but without the finish in sight, if that makes any sense. It begins with a scene of a meadow, a tree in a meadow, and it looks very haunting and dreamlike, and you are taken into the story of this boy who grows up to become a science student at the Bronx High School of Science, and he is trying to fulfill a class project, which is to convince wild bees and butterflies to cross the South Bronx. And to do that, he has to employ all kinds of friends, all kinds of people from the neighborhoods, and what they have to do is plant gardens. They have to plant guerrilla gardens, which means they're not asking permission, they're not you know, going to the city, they're just cutting fence bolts, they're breaking into abandoned lots, they're throwing seed bombs, they're gardening the rooftops. So it's very much a practice of taking back the soil, taking back the streets, and kind of reclaiming the ecosystems that are right under our feet. And that in turn has all these effects which support food security, and it supports neighborhood vibrancy, and it reduces crime, and it brings people together. So
I want to give a little picture. The art in this is beautiful. I mean, it's true. But talk to us about the art and who put this together.
Okay, so I did all the artwork, I did all the writing, and I did the publishing. So the entire
one-man band,
basically.
Okay.
Basically, I primarily work in water-based media. So that's Japanese sumi ink, Chinese ink, rice paper, and I also use water-based pigments. So it's all illustrated. There's no computers involved. There's no digital editing of any kind.
We're seeing a few pictures right here, and why don't you walk us through what we're seeing, a little what we're seeing.
Okay, this is a shot of Greta and Sam. This is a 1980s subway which has been painted with graffiti, and we have Sam hijacking a police bulldozer to build terraced gardens. That's the bottom panel. And in the center on the left, you'll see bike trailers, which not many people know about, but you can actually pull a 500-pound piano with a bicycle. I've done it. with these aluminum truss
You
frame
can
trailers.
pull a 500-pound piano with a bicycle.
Mm-hmm. And in the book, they're pulling all kinds of gardening equipment and tools. This is the introduction of Natasha. She's an immigrant, so I try to show a cross-section of the Bronx culture. We've got a white kid, we've got a Dominican, African-American student, so they become friends, and then Natasha's the third. She's the Russian immigrant. So we've got kind of three sort of broad categories of society. Of course, there's such diversity in the cultural level, so I just tried to put these three people together. This is a scene on the subway. The book really tries to cut across all boundaries of race, class, gender, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, and just show the raw and beautiful cross-section of humanity.
So walk us through the timeline of how long it took you to put this book together.
Well, it took about 8 years, as a matter of fact. Sometimes the project was simmering, sometimes it was boiling at a full boil. But each one of these pages took anywhere from a week to 2 months. I mean, the cover illustration, for example, took almost all of last summer. There's a lot of collage, there's a lot of cutting and pasting, there's a lot of procrastination.
Right.
I have to just say, while I'm here, thank you to the Bronx Museum of the Arts, which really, and Sergio Bessa, who's the curator there, who really brought the project back. It was mothballed for a little while, and from there it really took on some steam. I don't know if there's any other images you have showing, but one major inspiration, I don't know if you've heard of this, Rocking the Boat. Have you heard of these guys?
I've heard of Rocking the Boat, yes.
Yeah. So Adam Green is the founder, and Rocking the Boat is basically an educational, environmental carpentry program for Bronx high school students. And they build traditional wooden rowboats with their hands that are then used on the Bronx River to restore the ecosystems along the river's banks. And in 2003, I had the opportunity to work with them. And that's when I really made a lot of discoveries around this process. I saw how these young people were brought to life and were inspired by what they were doing and the skills that they were building.
So is there a book tour now? What's going on?
There's a book tour, yeah. I give talks at universities. I give talks at schools. It's funny. It kind of covers a range. Sometimes I'm teaching fourth graders, and other times I'm giving seminars to PhD insect scientists. So, and I'm excited about that. That it covers that range from young to old and grade school to
yeah, well, tell us if people want to get the Pollinators Corridor, how do they do that?
Okay, they can go to the website, which is my name, aaronburk.com, AARONBIRK.com. You can also just type in the Pollinators Corridor. It's the first hit on Google. And this is only volume 1, so there's a volume 2 coming out. And,
really? Okay. How long before we see that one?
Probably within the year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm hard at work on that now. And this volume is very much a children's book, but the second one gets more into the nitty-gritty, the maybe more adult material, more scenes from street life, especially in the 70s when the Bronx, as you mentioned earlier, was burning. And this is a very interesting segue from your last guest, where they're talking about how all of this gentrification is building this glass megalopolis in New York. And this period fascinates me because at this time there's a lot of rubble and there's a lot of open space. And so in that rubble and in that destruction, we find opportunities. And I would say that now in 2012, in a state of economic decline, we can also find opportunities to plant seeds and establish a new groundwork of environmental stability. Looking to look forward to the future.
Well, definitely we want to thank you for coming through and sharing a little bit about the Pollinators Corridor. It's a graphic novel and very interesting artwork, everything all done by Aaron. Now listen, for more on Aaron and the Pollinators Corridor, you can check out his website at www.aaronburk.com. And guess what? We're going to be coming back after the break with Kev Lawrence of the Back to School event in Wakefield. But first, the New York Giants will defend their Super Bowl championship at home tonight against the rival Dallas Cowboys. Here's a sneak peek of Big Blue gearing up for the showdown.
As the 2012-13 NFL season readies for kickoff tonight, step one on the repeating glory checklist for the defending Super Bowl champion New York Giants, downing longtime rival Dallas in the season opener. The Cowboys are in town for Week 1, a Wednesday night special in the Meadowlands, 8:30 p.m.
It doesn't matter who it is in Week 1, Week 2, 3, whatever it is. We just here to play ball.
No Giant receiver took the NFL by storm more than Victor Cruz a year ago. From no name to household salsa dancing machine, Cruz capped a memorable campaign with a single-season franchise record, 1,536 yards and 9 touchdowns. Not to mention a TD in the Super Bowl victory over New England.
I feel like we finished strong. I feel like, when we were out there the first team, we had some little bumps in the road, but I think we were pretty good on third down, and we could just get better at it. So we'll watch the film, and we'll see what things we can clean up towards Week 1.
Listed as questionable for tonight's game, fellow wide receiver Hakeem Nicks has battled back from a foot injury, which included off-season surgery. Nicks, who couldn't wait to get started, said he'll play through the pain.
I'm just going to always keep thinking positive. I know what I'm capable of doing. I just look forward to going out there, contribute to the team the best way possible, when I do step out there.
With all of the offensive and defensive pieces coming together, the Giants are hoping to kickstart their season on the right foot.
We've had a good preseason. Now we just got to carry that over into next week. We play a week from today, so the preseason's been good. The preseason's the preseason. Now the real bullets start flying, and hopefully we can continue what we've done this preseason.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Ladies and gentlemen, Grandmaster Millie Bell. Yeah, this is power. The power of our voice. The power to transform. The power to leave our mark. The power of my vote.
Register and vote. Call 866-VOTE-NYC or visit www.bronxnet.org.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
And welcome back. We've got so much more to share with you, but remember, our show is not possible without you. So we encourage you. Join in on the conversation by giving us a call in studio, 718-960-7241. Or as always, you can send us an email to open@bronxnet.org, and you can also follow us tweeting. We're tweeting from BronxNet TV. And if you like us, well, you can always like us. You can just post something on Facebook, hit us up at Facebook and open BronxNet Television, and then you hit the like button on the show, and we'll continue to let you know what's happening here on Open. Well, September's always a stressful time for everybody, students including, leaving the summer behind. Parents having to let go of their children and gathering all the supplies they will need. But in the Wakefield section of the Bronx, they're very prepared. The third annual Back to School event is taking place on Saturday, September the 8th. And we have the host in studio to tell us what to expect. We welcome now Mr. Kev Lawrence. And Kev, good to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So as we said, it is back to school time, huh?
Yes, back to school.
Uh-huh.
You know, for all the kids. Some kids actually went to school already.
Right.
But, you know, they still need the supplies. And that's what me and my crew, me, C-Truth, and, of course, my Uncle Ralph Daniels is here to do for the people.
Give us a little bit about this here, because you guys really have taken the initiative of really trying to prepare kids and get them ready, at least for the beginning of the school year. Because for a lot of parents, you know, even though the school year is rolling up and it's a new time and, you know, people are re-ing up, a lot of parents in this day and time are really struggling.
Yes, yeah, and people would be surprised to know how many parents are struggling. You know, just the disposable cash is not there anymore for a lot of parents. So what we like to do, we like to say, you know, we'll help you out with that. So we go out there, we get an abundance of supplies, and we give them out to all the kids in the neighborhood of the Wakefield section of the Bronx, and by PS 87. Mm-hmm. And we do it outside the Playground Park. You know, we've been doing radio. Me and my partner have been doing radio for so long, Thermal Soundwaves Radio, WHCR, 90.3 FM. We do that, and we always feel like giving back to the community. Mm-hmm. And for so long, we just felt like a lot of people just are not doing that. It's good always to excel. Mm-hmm. And people say you shouldn't look back, but sometimes you should. And that's why that's what we're about. And helping out these kids is a great thing. Mm-hmm. It's great when the parents look at you and say, you know what, I don't want to say it, but I needed that.
Right.
And thank you.
And give us a little bit more about that reaction, because there are a lot of people who won't even take part in that because, you know, for pride. And they'll say, well, I don't really need a handout. But, you know, the way things are right now, you know, if you tell the story, a whole lot of us grew up on hand-me-downs and help from other places. And nowadays people aren't so receptive. But you do have a great group of people who are actually taking the help.
Yes, yes. And I have to say thank you to you guys for having me here to get this word out, because without you guys, I wouldn't have this much exposure with it. And you guys have been helping me out since day one. So thank you, you and the whole staff, and Mr. Nabi and everybody. And I say thank you to Staples. Mm-hmm. Staples has helped out. They gave us some supplies. And a couple of people have helped out here and there to help Mr. Red, and just me and my partners. Right. You know. And with the supplies we've been given to the kids, it's almost like, all right, a lot of kids say, they're not really that enthusiastic about getting school supplies because it's school.
Right. Who's excited about school?
Really, really excited about going to school.
Especially after having a good summer.
Exactly. So what we like to do also is implement giving blood pressure checks. So we bring like a medical staff team to give people some blood pressure checks, because a lot of people don't realize how they're falling behind in their health. Mm-hmm. And then we got people like Sean Cargill and staff of Edible Arrangements that's going to be giving away free fruit cups to the people, give people more healthy way of eating.
Right.
And also, we're going to be doing egg races, our famous egg races. And with the egg races, we give away bikes and scooters to the winners. So a lot of kids are so excited and enthusiastic about it. And, you know, with people like Principal Adelman, Ms. Garcia, and Officer David Bell from the 47th Precinct, when kids see that, it's almost like, wow, this guy's really giving away bikes and scooters. I could really win a bike and a scooter. And they really do. And sometimes people do that. You do it for one time, then you don't come back. So then you kind of build up the kids' expectation of seeing you. Mm-hmm. And then when they don't see you, then it's like, you know what, he lied to me or she lied to me.
Right.
So we're back every year, and that brings the kids closer to the school. So we like to give kids that feeling of like, you know, there's a lot going on around my school, so I might as well be in school. And the closer they are to school, the more they are in school, the better they are to do better in school.
And the community collaboration has just been, you know, for you guys, great.
Yes, yes. A lot. Some people throughout the neighborhoods has been, you know, helping us out. Say, you know what, I'll give you a couple $, or I'll try and donate a scooter, and every little bit helps. Mm-hmm. You know, there's so many people, but it's hard work. It's hard work, you know. And I have to say thank you to Principal Adelman and PS87 staff for believing in me, because in that part of the Bronx, in the Bronx period, we don't really get that many chances. Different boroughs, you get a lot of chances.
Right.
In Brooklyn, you get tons of chances. Queens, even Staten Island. The Bronx, it always had this type of stuff like, you know, Yankee Stadium and, you know, the Bronx to the Botanical Gardens, and that's all we'll do for you. So when it came, it was very hard to get that, but they believed in me, and the precinct, 47th precinct, believed in me. The commander-in-chief over there, Inspector Mullen, I believe, and also David Bell. And it's been working out great.
So give us the day, time, place. Where's it go down?
September 8th. September 8th, between 12:30 and 4:30 p.m. at PS 87 Playground Park, located at 1935 Bussing Avenue. That's 1 block off of Baychester Avenue. That's the northeast section of the Bronx. We call it the Wakefield section. And it's going to be a lot of things going on. DJ Achmonic will be DJing for the kids out there. Child-friendly music.
Right.
You know, of course, the Video Music Box will be out there. Ralph McDaniels. The fire department will come out. They always get the kids fire truck tours.
Right.
You know, I also implement the girl power. Because most girls, I feel that if they had more girl power, a lot of girls growing up would feel a little bit better themselves and make better decisions. So, yes, girls could be firemen as well.
That's right.
You know,
that's right. That's right.
Girls could be construction. They're the women running things. That could be them. Yes.
All you have to do is get involved and do it, right?
All you got to do is get involved. And, of course, we got the Bronx Museum behind us as well, because I'm also a committee advisory council member of the Bronx Museum. So I implement a lot of the arts and crafts in what we do. And it's been going great. And, you know, of course, on the radio, Thermal Sounds Radio.
Yeah, give us a little bit about the radio. Tell us about the radio and where people can find you.
You can find us WHCR, 90.3 FM. It's the voice of Harlem originally, but really we were heard around the world. So, you know, people listen to us on WHCR.org. And 90.3 FM, and we're around the world. So it's been going great with us. They can get at us on our Gmail, thermalsounds@gmail.com. And, of course, Video Music Box, Video Music Box TV at hotmail.com.
Talk to us about Ralph McDaniels. I mean, he's been around for years. I mean, everybody, we grew up with Ralph.
Yeah, we all ran home watching Uncle Ralph.
Yeah.
And he's celebrating next year is the official 25th anniversary. And we're going to be doing about, 30th anniversary. And we're going to be doing about a good 30 big events throughout the New York City and Tri-State area. And we'd love to get you guys involved as well. He's been doing this for a very long time. He's been taking care of the careers of people. Tyson Beckford got his start from him. Jay-Z, Nas, Carl Kanai. So many people. So many people. And even, rest in peace to Mr. Chris Lighty. Yes, of Violator Records, Violator Management. A lot of people came through him and got their starts in all kinds of work. It doesn't have to be music or movies. It could be just anchor work. Many people. And he's done a lot for a lot of people. And this is nothing new that we've been doing with giving back to the communities.
We're seeing a few pictures right here, the back to school event that you guys have. Tell us a little bit about this here.
Yeah, as you can see, you know, you got the kids just happy that they're getting for what they're getting. But even though you see, like, you know, the bikes, the scooters, what you don't realize that they're getting health services. You know, so you can know what's going on with your child before something goes not the way you like it to go. You know, you should know what's going on with yourself. And we also check the parents, too. Like, parents know about their blood pressure. You know, a lot of people are passing away at ages that we would not think they will pass away. Rest in peace to Mr. Michael Clark Duncan. A lot of people are having strokes at younger ages, heart attacks at younger ages. And it's like, before you say, oh, you don't get that till you're in your 60s or 70s. A lot of people get in their 20s and 30s now. So it's good to know what's going on with yourself. And that's what we bring to the people. And, of course, just a healthier way of living. I'm not going to tell everybody to be a vegan. I'm not a vegan, but I like to eat a little better.
Yeah.
You know, we all can eat a little better.
A little healthier.
Yeah.
You know, we all can do a little bit better. That's right.
And that's what we do. And I have to thank my parents for pushing that on me. Because when I went away to the military, I remember being in Saudi Arabia like, okay, I want to come back home. You know, and I was like, when I come back home, I'm going to do something. And remember, the guy used to always tell me, if you say you're going to do it, do it. And don't wait till you get in trouble and have a judge tell you to do community service. You should already do service to your community regardless. And I always believed in that. And a lot of the older people instilled that in me. The schools I went to, PS 87, John Philip Sousa Junior High School, Truman High School, and some event in high school, and some event in some school too. But and BMCC, and around the world, I just learned you shouldn't wait for somebody to tell you to do something good. It should already be within you, and that's what I do. And I'm happy, and I'm going to continue to keep doing this. It hurts the pocket sometimes, but I'm going to continue doing it.
You know, and having that community support really, and the more that you're out there and the more that you're doing it, obviously the more people will take part in it, and, you know, it won't hurt the pocket so much in the future if you just keep on staying out there and keep on doing the good work.
And once again, thank you for every one of you guys for having us here. And it's great when the kids and the parents can see me with a gentleman like you, and then they can say, you know what, he looks like me. Maybe I could do that.
Well, thank
you. The camera people here, they look like me. Maybe I could do it. Why not I learn how to do it?
Well, certainly we're thankful for you, what you're doing too. So September the 8th is the big day.
Yes,
and
September
so we
8th.
want people to come on out. Now for more on the 3rd annual Back to School event in Wakefield, be sure to check out Kev, www.thermalsoundwaves.com. Kev, good to have you, man.
Thank you, man. You looking sharp too, man. You look like you're Steve Harvey run for his money right now.
Well, you know, I like to have Steve Harvey's money.
Yeah, me too.
I know that's right. Well, that about wraps it up for us here on when we say open, and we thank you for opening up your TVs to us that we can actually be able to come and do your show. We hope that you've enjoyed the show. Remember now, you can find us on social media and check us out. Share your thoughts about this episode with us. We encourage you to have an amazing week, and don't forget, keep your heart, your mind, and most of all, this channel wide open. You're watching that Back to School event Saturday, September the 8th, 12:30 to 4:30, PS 87, Park 1935, Bussin Avenue in the Bronx, 10466. And guess what? It's going to air on WNYC TV, channel 22 and 25. So that about wraps it up for us here. Take care and God bless.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year.